This week on the Ants Nest, Nick Marshall saves the day, Will Magnay monsters the Kings, and we preview games versus the Cats and the Taipans. This is Tasmanian Takeover. March on, Jackies.
JackJumpers. They just never say die.
Cooks to restart. Oh, the poor pass picked off by Magnay. Now Ben Air charging up. They've got Marshall working hard from close range. Oh, knocks it down right on the buzzer. Nick Marshall has not only knocked it down, but he's won the game.
With ice in the veins. This is the Ants Nest, Tasmanian Takeover, of course, and that was Air Marshall. Just absolute ice in the veins, no give up, no retreat, no surrender, putting it away to help us take the win over the Kings. Of course, you are listening to your boys, JD and Berto. I am back. JD, how are you, brother?
Mate. Well, I haven't been this good since the 23-24 semi-final. That was awesome.
It was pretty intense, but Jesus Christ, setting the bar low, aren't you, son? I'm hoping I hope we got a few more big moments in NBL 26.
We've had one or two.
I suppose if you set the bar low enough, you can't be disappointed, can you?
That was so good, and we're going to dissect it.
That was fantastic. But yes, before we do dissect it, I want to give a huge shout out to JB for joining JD. We've got the JB and the JD and no CB or Berto, as I like to be known as, doing the Ants Nest last week. Thank you, JB. And we've had a bit of a yarn tale, mate. We also had someone turn around in the comments and say, can we make JB a permanent fixture? Well, the short answer to that is we can't lock him in permanently because he's a very busy man, but we certainly now have him on the speed dial for regular occurrences, or regular appearances. So he is now part of the team anyway. Who knows? He could be on quite frequently. He could be on infrequently. Even we don't know. But let's put it this way. You know it's official when you're on our group chat. So that's the main thing. He's on the group chat. We're also intending on getting other guests onto the show as well. I know I want to catch up with an old mate of mine and an old mate of JB's, Ronnie, and get him on there. So, Ronnie, if you're listening, I have not forgotten, mate. I know I keep saying we're going to get you on. And as you would have heard, if you've been listening regularly, we've had a lot of changes with the show and whatnot. But you are next. We just had to make sure that we got this thing up and running and the wheels didn't fall off the bus when I leave JD alone for 5 minutes, which I think you did a good enough job, mate. We'll keep you around for a bit longer.
Yeah, look, it was held together with duct tape and bubble gum, but we got through it, and I think it was all right. It was our lowest views of the year, so that tells you something about what the listeners want, and it's your big beautiful face, Berto. That's what people are tuning in for.
Jesus Christ, we're talking about setting a bar low. Well, now we've just absolutely scraped the bottom of the barrel, but yeah, righto. Anyway, as we always do, how do you find us? How do you get to us? So beacons.ai, Tasmanian Takeover is our mini site where all the episodes are up there. We've got all the YouTube episodes linked. There's a Spotify playlist. There's also an Apple podcast playlist. And look, if you can't find on your individual podcast listening apparatus, please just reach out to us. Tasmania Takeover at gmail.com is our email address, and we will look to get it sorted out. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and I believe we're now on TikTok. No, I'm not doing any dances. That's the last thing any of us need, but I'm sure I can convince JD to do a few dances. But we are putting up all the clips on Insta and across all the other socials, and we've made it very easy for you at Tasmanian Takeover on all the social platforms. So do keep liking, sharing, telling all fans, because remember, we are your for fans by fans Tasmania JackJumpers podcast. Well, it's been a It's been a big week, and I know you are absolutely hanging to get into the game. But before we do, we have had a few things go on over the course of the week. Apart from me not being here, I've been in my work life, which, we're not going to get into my work life right now, but in my work life, we do work with the Community Broadcasting Association, which is fantastic. And they recently held their conference, recently as in over the weekend, down here in Hobart. So what's really cool about that is a number of contacts I have are all under one roof, which means I got talking.
Had your networking hat on.
Mate, I put a bit of networking on. We got out there, and as much as the JackJumpers are the team for all of Tasmania, we'd like to be a podcast that's for all of Tasmania. So in talking to a number of different community radio stations, not just down in Hobart, but one in Launceston, and hopefully maybe even one up in the northwest, I'm hoping we'll be able to get Tasmania Takeover on community radio on the regular. So it's a work in progress, and I'm not going to say who or what. You can do the working out, based on putting all your sleuthing hats on and working it out based on little bits of information over the last year and this year, and working out what community radio stations might even be interested in such a show. But hopefully all that comes to fruition.
Is there a big shortage of dulcet tones on community radio? Is there, Berto? They were lining up to sign up our services by the sounds of it.
Mate, I think they were just trying to shut me up. To be honest, it's like whatever we're going to say to get this guy to bugger off, But yeah. So we'll do that. The more interesting news too is I also got talking to community TV.
Avatar.
Yeah, I know you're excited for this one. Very, very early days, but they have just launched, they've always had the Community TV Plus app, so you could watch community TV on your phone. Community TV, for most part, is sort of mainly Melbourne based, from what I understand, with the free-to-air stations. And obviously, having an app means that they can start to go, global, really, if they wanted to. But watching TV on your phone is, it's a bit of a task. It's a bit hard, if you're a bit old like me, sitting there looking at it with old eyes is a bit, I like a nice big screen, that's why these panels just keep getting bigger and I keep upgrading, I guess. But having a yak to them, and they wanted to expand their content now that they've launched an app for smart TV. So they were actually demonstrating the app they had available for an Apple TV box, and is also apparently available in the Google App Store on your TV or on your Chromecast or whatever else. And I actually need to do a little testing to see if it's available on my TV, which runs off that Vidu or whatever it is. It's a Hisense TV. And they want to expand their content. They were certainly looking for Tasmanian content. So I turned around and said, well, I happen to know a little podcast. It does a video version of it. And if you don't mind, a couple of talking heads talking about the JackJumpers and then eventually the Devils, love to give you the content. So early days, but they didn't tell me to piss off, which was very nice. They didn't turn around and go tell him he's dreaming, and they're interested to hear from me. So we'll see what happens. If we can get on there, that'd be great. You'd be able to, look, the reality is we'll always have it on YouTube, but it's nice to have it in a curated location for all Australian content. So I think that's fantastic. The more people who can access this and hear about the greatest team in the NBL as far as I'm concerned, and I guess eventually the greatest team in the AFL. So, yeah.
Absolutely. It's not far away.
So I've been busy. What have you been doing?
Mate, I've just been riding on your coattails pretty much. I've been letting you do all the hard work while I cut and paste my little clips that I do. So, mate, it's been great. We had a big chat on the weekend while I was walking around. Woolworths, bumping into people who just wanted to get their bread and milk, wondering what this idiot's doing in his footy shorts, talking business. But yeah, mate, I'm excited. I look, if it comes to fruition, great. If it doesn't, great. We're having fun. That's all this podcast is. Is it just an opportunity for the two of us to get together and talk shit about the JackJumpers for an hour every week?
Absolutely.
If anything happens, that's a bonus.
Absolutely, absolutely. And look, we'd love to hear from you. I mean, we've had quite a few comments getting into the YouTube videos and the like, but yeah, we want, drop some feedback in the socials, drop us a message, drop us an email, whatever, send a carrier pigeon. We'd love to hear from you. I mean, we're now this is 6 episodes in under this new format. We're basically calling it season 1. I know it's officially the season 1 where we've made Tasmanian Takeover the overarching brand, and we're independent of Basketball Fix. And we want to hear, are you happy with it? Do you like this? Do you like, we want to keep going, obviously, for the time being, but it's nice to know that there are people watching and really keen to hear from us each week. So let us know what you'd like us to do. We are going to eventually tee up interviews and the like. It's just a matter of finding our feet first and, building the connections. Obviously, we don't have all the connections that the Basketball Fix was getting and growing with, but we will get there. And of course, I suppose this is also a great opportunity that if you want to come on in the early days and sponsor us, help us out, great. And it doesn't necessarily have to be financial. We would love to tee up with particularly a small community organisation, a small Tasmanian-owned, even a family-owned operation down here in Tassie that, get your logo out there, get people recognising you and, just grow together, really. It doesn't have, as I say, it doesn't have to be financial. It could be in other ways. And, I'd give you a perfect example. Taking a look at what the Hawks Hangout Boys did. They teed up with a very small brewery up there. And, it's great because of that brewery. When I was in town up there, first place I wanted to go was Suss It Out. And great beer.
Mm-hmm.
Would never have heard of them. Certainly haven't seen them on the shelves. And great beer. Absolutely loved it. So whatever works, we can help each other out. It'd be fantastic. But I think we have dilly-dallied enough around this one. We need to talk about
should we
what
talk about some basketball for a bit, please, Berto?
Oh, I suppose if we must. So we did play the Sydney Kings at Kudos Bank Arena on the 26th of October. And this one was a little bit funny for me because obviously with the conference that I was at, and also I had the bosses down from Sydney, I was very much tied up. So I didn't get to watch this one live, which for a Sydney Kings JackJumpers game, me missing it live she's a hard one. I'm definitely tied up if that's the case. But what an interesting game to be watching from afar. Before I get JD to really take over, because he did watch it live, and I caught up on the replay and sort of watched as much of it what I could post, knowing already what the result was. On the actual day, I was sitting there watching the scores, and we went from having what was a dominant run to then losing our way a bit, it seemed, to then we got to the end where it might as well have been a Kings win, and they shit the bed.
Absolutely.
So JD, based on my absolutely awesome analysis of the game there, fill us in. Where did the change actually occur, and at what point did it start to look like it was going to be a Kings win and not a Jackies win?
JB and I went into depth last week about how to beat the Kings and whether the Ignite Cup game was the template on how to beat the Kings.
Yeah.
And for a lot of the game, we were playing Jackie's basketball, heavily defensive, and you can see the scores on the screen. The Kings got away from us a bit. And then in the fourth quarter, Scott Roth just gathered the troops and said, right, let's go full Ignite Cup and let's go at them. And they just ran and they ran and they ran. And honestly, the Kings didn't have an answer for us. KD was dominant, absolutely dominant in the first 3 quarters, but relatively quiet in the last. And we just chipped away and chipped away, 2 points after the other. We ended up with 10 points in a row. We came back from a 16-point deficit, and well, we saw the video at the start of the podcast. Xavier Cooks shit the bed. Mags was absolutely huge, and for him to intercept a pass from a throw-in, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. That was awesome.
But I think that turn of fate actually really came in a lot sooner than that, a lot earlier than that. Kuat Nui missing from the line. I mean, that man drops threes like I drop lunches. He is amazing. I mean, there were a couple there in the highlight reel that he was just dropping that were just astronomical.
Yeah.
And to go to the line and just miss was just unheard of. And then
two in a row.
You could see that between Mags and Bannon, they fumbled the ball so that it went out.
Yep.
Now at that point, again, that was another opportunity for the Kings to do it. And that inbound by Cooks, okay, it made a lot of sense to have Mags on him, but come on now. Like, I mean, Mags is a big unit and he's got a great wingspan, but it was almost like Cooks wasn't going to
a floater. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like Cooks wasn't even going to try and fake it or anything like that. And then, Mags just turned around. Thanks very much. We'll have this. Dish it off to Ben Air. Ben Air did Ben Air-like things and ran it down the court. Great IQ there to get it off to Marshall. And didn't Marshall just sit there, duck and weave, and got himself up under that hoop for a nice little layup with ice in the veins.
Absolutely.
In the veins.
And we'll talk about Nick Marshall in a minute, but it was a very, very even game, and it was very hard to pick a man of the match. Josh Bannon, 18 points, 9 rebounds. He's basically averaging a double-double every game he goes out, Josh Bannon, and he couldn't miss from the 3 line all game. It was he was outstanding. What a pickup Josh Bannon has been. We've talked about him every week. He's so good.
He is phenomenal. He's phenomenal. I am so glad that he's in the Jackies green. I think between he's really starting to find his feet with Mags. And I think between the two of them, they are phenomenal together. I am so glad we've picked Ben Air.
Yep.
Ben Air, the Fresh Prince has been absolutely...
The Fresh Prince.
There you go. Yeah. Has been absolutely amazing. And I think this younger squad we've got has just been an absolute breath of fresh air we need. Even when we lost the other week, and I mean, look, it was probably for the best that I wasn't on the pod because that one really hurt watching that one. But the boys were absolutely deflated. They didn't have legs under them. But still, there was no point where I'm sitting there going, crap, here we go. It was like, well, next, dust them off.
Yep.
Put a bit of dank rub on the legs. I have an ice bath or whatever it is the elite athletes do. Certainly not what I do. And away we carry on. It just feels like we're a well-oiled machine. I'd like to give him an honourable mention for man of the match, though, to Tiger Campbell, because that push, I mean, I think he decided that he was going to turn this into a WWE match with the way he pushed on, who was a Bull Quoll, just about shot him into Sydney Harbour. Fantastic.
We love Tiger.
I don't know what Quoll said to him, but by Christ, he just turned around and gave him an almighty heave-ho, and old mate's just gone flying. It was like, Jesus, that was mint.
I miss JC every single day, but by golly, Tiger has been more than an adequate replacement for our man, the Teapot. He's excellent. Another one, and again, we haven't even got to player of the game yet. We've basically listed the whole team. But Will Magnay, I've got to give him a shout out. God, he wears the captaincy well. I feel like he's gone to another level this season. And in this game in particular, he was a defensive monster. 4 blocks, 1 steal, and 5 rebounds. And he was just in the face of every Kings player he could find. Some of the blocks he was doing was just nuts. 4 blocks in a game. Like, if you get 1 block a game, you're pretty happy, right? He comes out and just nails 4. So, Mags, keep doing what you're doing, mate. This is just outstanding.
I absolutely agree with you with him taking on the captaincy and really stepping it up. Like, Will has been a phenomenal asset to the team since day one. Okay, when he's not injured, he is. I mean, look, he's been in the NBA and he's at elite player. But what we're seeing now, it's almost like, okay, this was what he needed to just, I don't know, it was almost like if it was a missing piece to the puzzle that is Will Magnay. Giving him this leadership has just helped him go to that next level. And whether it also gives him a bit of extra confidence on the court or what, I don't know. But yeah, he just seems to be. My only fear is that he really does get targeted next year for the NBA.
Yeah.
You know, and I hope.
Playing. Absolutely.
Yeah, and look, I know with the JackJumpers, they are very keen to sit there and watch their people move on and go on to bigger and better things and all that. But Jesus, that would hurt. That would hurt,
wouldn't it? Absolutely.
All right, you want to go through some stats for this game before rattling off the player of the game, mate? Go for it.
Yeah. So it was basically what I was talking about before. Massive last quarter, 26-10. We were down by 16 at 3/4 time, and we were just too good for them in the end. The one, do you know what the one thing I noticed out of this game was our free throws have finally come good. After battling away all season, we finally hit 20 out of 25 free throws. Those are 3 points. It's in the name. You've got to nail them, and we did. We won by 1 point in the end. So to get 20 free throws was outstanding. The other big stat that I wanted to point out was we had 5 players who scored double-figure points, and poor old Fresh Prince was just outside of that 5. He ended with 9. So it was really an outstanding team effort.
Not a shabby outing at all. Not a shabby outing. And I'll tell you what, it was great to see Juk back on the court.
Yeah.
You can just tell, like, he was missed. He is needed.
Yep.
Ding, 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 ding. That's all I can say.
I tried so hard to find a highlight of his block where he was. It seemed like he was sitting in the first row, and he just put his hand up and got a block. But I couldn't find it anywhere that wasn't in the highlights packages. So sorry,
he's just in the highlights before. He's just phenomenal. He's here. He's there. He's every bloody where. He's just. I love it. He's just that player who is just always into everything. And when he's on the court, he's making a difference. And even if he's not up there with big stats or whatever else, he's making a difference. And you know, now that we don't have Fab, Deng is really getting that position, that Swiss Army knife, if you will. So I'm so glad he's back, and I'm glad he's healthy. So, yeah, very good. Very good. All right. Who you giving player of the game to and why?
All right. This is somewhat controversial and somewhat not controversial, but I had to give it to our man, Nick Marshall, and not just because of what he did at the end of the game, but throughout the whole game, you'll see some of the little 1%ers he does in this game. He was super important the whole game. He ended with 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist, although I've got a couple more assists in this highlight package. So I don't think the box score was totally accurate. But he has just been an outstanding addition to this team. Great vision. Great speed. He just brings an element of class. And I know that he's Jack McVeigh's best mate. And you can sort of see it in the way he plays with that cool head and just bobs up at the right time. So man of the match to Nick Marshall for this one. What a win.
Absolutely. And it's probably just a quick shout out for Nick as well. Check out the JackJumpers Vitamins podcast. Wasn't the most recent episode. The most recent episode, I believe, was with Kayla Steindl, but the episode before that was with Nick Marshall, and it's a great interview. Check it out. Great to know more about the man and a little bit more about his, private life or whatever else, or not so much the private life, but the more interesting stuff outside of basketball and the like. I do like the way they do those interviews, getting into things like what's your coffee order and what apps are you using on your phone and that.
I love that.
Yeah, random questions, but it's not the same old, how did you manage doing this score and how do you feel playing here and the same stuff you can get from any sort of interview. So yeah, the Vitamins podcast is a great listen. And no, we're not endorsed. We're not sponsored by Jackies yet. JackJumpers, if you're listening, it'd be lovely.
Give us a call.
Give us a call. We'd just like to hook up with you. It'd be all good. But no, I ever since Vitamins came out last season, I've enjoyed listening to it. And yeah, just on that, check out the Kayla Steindl one. That was fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Have a lot of appreciation for Kayla and what she's done for women's basketball and what she will continue to do for women's basketball with the new WNBL team. All right, well, we probably should move now into Ants on the March and look at our previews for the upcoming game. And depending on when you're listening to this, this game may have already happened. I will do my absolute best to make sure that this episode is up as early as possible. But Wednesday, 29th of October, we are playing the Perth Wildcats at MyState Bank Arena for what is our second Ignite Cup match. Perth are coming to us 4 wins, 4 losses, and 5th on the ladder, coming off a 1-point loss to Illawarra. The RAC Arena is not the fortress it has been in the past. They're now going to come to our fortress, and we are still as loud and as proud as we've ever been at the Nest. Look, what do you think about this match, JD? Because to be honest with you, I think this is a one and done. I think we've got it.
Yeah. Look, when Bryce Cotton left Perth, he took the Wildcats' teeth with him. They just seem a little bit lost at the moment. They've already sacked one of their imports in Mason. They only played 5 games and they've gotten rid of an import. They really are still struggling to find an identity without Bryce Cotton. I watched the highlights of the loss to Illawarra. They lost it by a point. Elijah Pepper did his absolute best to keep him in the game with a 3 with 1.7 seconds left on the clock. And then Big McGee went to the other end and just nailed a free throw. So, look, I'm not too worried about this game. What I am worried about, though, I just mentioned Elijah Pepper. He was absolutely outstanding against Illawarra. But one thing I did notice is he has lost his dad bod, and he's looking a little bit more like an athlete this season, and I don't like it. I don't like how good he looks. There's no love handles, there's no flappy wings. He's looking fit and firing, and I'm not for it. You need a few more KFC Zinger boxes in you, please, Elijah.
You are a worry, mate. Honestly, the stuff you come out with. Oh. Anyway, so help wanted, needing a new co-host for Ants Nest. Absolutely reckon that we're going to take this one. No two ways about it. I just don't think.
How many points? How many points are we taking? Come on. Because it's the Ignite Cup, right? Every quarter is worth a point, and the win is worth 3 points. So a total of 7 points. How many quarters are we going to win?
That's a good question, actually. I think we'll win 2 quarters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're not going to be blowaways. I just think that, I think it'll be close. I was really surprised when we absolutely blew away the Kings.
Yep.
Now, that being said, though, I don't know whether we're playing a different style, and you and JB did a great job of talking about that, whether or not there was a different style of play just for Ignite. I didn't even consider that we would change up a style of play for Ignite, but maybe given what it is, and JB said it quite well, it really promotes being offensive. throughout the whole game. They want high energy offense. I guess it's like, I suppose, if you were watching an MMA fight, fight of the night generally goes to the fighters who sit there and punch the living shit out of each other, as opposed to those who are technicians on the ground. And it's just feels like, 3 rounds of lay and pray.
Running away like Floyd Mayweather did against Manny Pacquiao all those years ago.
For sure. So look, I think we'll win 2 rounds. 2 quarters. We will take the win. Don't ask me by what kind of margin. Look, I haven't done enough homework here to sit there and go, yep, we could easily take it by so much. I'd hazard to say I'm confident enough to even say we could even take 3 quarters, but I do think 1 quarter will be feeling them out a little bit. They'll be a bit the Cats will be on the offense a little bit and may have worked us out a little bit. I think there's still a lot of unknown with the Cats too. I really do think there's a little bit of unknown there, whereas I think we've seen the best of not the best of what we can do, but we've seen everyone sort of firing and what they're up to and whatever else. I hope we've got more surprises installed, and certainly last Ignite game we showed us we look like bloody Sonic the Hedgehog on the court, to be honest.
Especially Tiger Campbell. He even had the hair.
So true. All right, and then on November 1st, we are up at the Silverdome, which is always scary. Because let's face it, our records up at the Silverdome have not been great. However, we are playing the Cairns Taipans. This is a 5:30 game. I believe there may even still be tickets for sale. So anyone up north and even up south who want to make the drive, it's only a quick 2.5 hour drive. You want to get tickets to a Jackies game, get up there. Apparently, the Silverdome's been under renovations. We'll talk about that a little bit. JD's done some research on that. But I think we're going to pull a win on this one. We've got injuries in Jack McVeigh and Sam Wardenberg, which would be my 2 considerations to be possible threats. Do we know if they're out for sure or if they're game day decisions?
Yes, I don't know what our boy Jack has done to himself, but he's listed as a TBC. Sam Wardenberg only returned to training this week. He has He has done his ankle, and Jack McVeigh has done his wrist. So Wardenberg's listed as December, although he has returned to training now, so that might be a little bit earlier. But Jack is definitely out.
Yep. Now, what could go against us? The Cairns Taipans are coming off a 27-point loss to Melbourne. That could play in our favour, like they're not even in our league, don't even sweat it. Or they could be down there hungry, venomous, ready to attack, and just eager to absolutely take down someone who's, cruising the top of the ladder. So it is always interesting when a team does take a belting, how they bounce back and who they rebound on, so to speak. So that could be the only thing that could be a bit of a concern, but I'm not overly worried about it. In fact, I see us not only taking a win, but this could be what breaks our curse at the Silverdome, hopefully. So between renovations and a win like this, it could be good. What are your thoughts, mate?
One thing I am worried about is we are coming up against Lonnie Local. Or not Lonnie. I think I'll get in trouble for saying that because I know the Ulverston crowd don't like being associated with Launceston. But Ulverston boy...
Is there a week you're going to not have a 30?
Nah. The JDFP, I'm calling it, the JD faux pas. This is why people tune in to see where JD's going to put his foot in it this week.
I thought it was about my dulcet tones.
Well, that's the other reason they tune in. We're going to get our first look at Rain Smith, who very nearly could have been a jack jumper. He's been over in the US in the college system, and it wasn't quite the right timing. The jack jumpers got a bit sick of waiting for him to make a decision and decided to press on without him. But he shoots threes from anywhere in the court. He broke the record for his college team's basketball's amount of threes in a season. And he's a bit of a gun. Grew up in Ulverston. He'll know the Silverdome well. I'm very sure of that. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him, even if he's not in a Jackie's jersey. They've also got a bloke. His name is Andrew Andrews. So nice they named him twice.
Oh, Jesus. How long did it take you to think of that one?
That just came to me just now. He's got a funny name, but he is good to watch. He just goes bullet-a-gate head first, and he does some mercurial stuff. So definitely watch out for Andrew Andrews. I've got this as a win, even though it is at the Silverdome. I'm also hoping to break the curse.
Yeah, no. Hope so, and I really do hope that we continue this great stretch that we're, great. Well, I'd say great stretch because we've still got that one loss in there, but we'll just forget about that one. It's okay.
Don't worry about it.
And look, we're gonna pull a win on Wednesday night. It's all good. No dramas.
Nothing better than beating the Wildcats.
Absolutely. All right, Ant Army update. What's going on around the place? So, JD, tell us about these Silverdome renovations. You've done a little looky-loo. I've got to be honest, I haven't been tracking what's been going on up at the Silverdome. I was actually hoping to have gotten up to Lonnie this past weekend. I actually had tickets to Tasmanian Championship Wrestling, as I do like to do, and then found out that I ballsed up and had booked those tickets on the same weekend as a conference and the bosses coming down and all that. So a huge shout out to my missus.
Weekend away.
Oh, it would have been great. And usually, depending on the weather, I'll usually just up and back it, no dramas, but take the little one up there, and me and her quite like the wrestling. The big bloke's not a big fan of wrestling, so he usually hangs back. But the missus took one for the team, so a huge shout out to her for taking the kids away for the weekend. Sat through the wrestling, much to her absolute disdain. And so it meant that I didn't get a chance to go up there and see what was going on with the Silverdome or anything like that. So talk to us. What's been going on?
Yeah, so early in the season, it was quite a while ago now, Larry Kesselman came out and mentioned that the Silverdome is no longer up to NBL standards. And there was talk of them even putting a stop to playing there early in the season. So, we managed to do managed to push the beans around in the budget, and we've put $12 million into some renovations for the Silverdome, which look, I can't wait to see it. I won't be there, obviously, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how it presents on the telly. They've introduced more seating, better accessibility. There's new replay screens which look phenomenal from what I've seen. They've completely replaced the floor, so that the ball will be a bit more bouncy now. It'll actually come back to us rather than playing in mud like we were previously. They've upgraded the food and beverage, and all the change rooms have been completely redone. So it sounds like they have drastically improved the game day experience. It should be a proper NBL venue now, rather than something halfway between a Kingborough Sports Centre and MyState Bank Arena. This one, it should. I can't wait to see it. It's going to look Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it on the big screen as well, because let's face it, you could quickly tell on television that they were playing certainly not at MyState when they were up there, and we're a state team. We need to have great venues to play in no matter what. And I think it's about time. I mean, we're obviously, our NBL 1 teams will benefit from it. We'll also have the case of our WNBL teams being able to benefit from it. So
for sure,
it just makes perfect sense, really. It's about bloody time, really. So glad we've been able to find it, and glad we've been able to make it happen. which is
I've actually
great.
been to the Silverdome once. I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, and I went to watch Disney on Ice. I don't remember much of it, but I got some plastic Mickey Mouse ears to take home with me, and that was great.
That might have been an improvement, actually. I think you
It
need to find
probably
those
was.
ears again.
I do.
All right. And I suppose in fantastic news for the team, and I say this a little bit. Jesus, I hope they don't hurt themselves. Mags, Bannon, are going off to play for the Boomers, and Ben Ayres also been put in there on I think it's like the reserve list or something like that,
Is that
as
right?
well. So, yeah. So yeah, that is absolutely fantastic that they've been selected. I kind of suspected they were already in, but I don't know. I guess they were up to final selections or whatever else. I'll actually be going to the Boomers game at my state, which will be fantastic. Got the tickets to that, so looking forward to it. Seeing play the Tall Blacks, so that should be really quite good.
There's still tickets available for that. Do you know? It's 29th of November by memory.
Yeah, something like that. Look, I think so. Just I'm only basing it on advertising, just getting around for it, but I haven't actually seen any specific. There are still tickets available. So look, jump on the Ticket Tech, have a bit of a look. If you can nab it, I reckon it'll be a fantastic night. I mean, makes it very easy who to go for. Just go for Boomers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not like when I normally go to my state where I've got to sit there and make sure I'm a little bit careful anytime I'm like, oh, that was good by the Kings. See, now I can't show too much purple.
Be careful, you'll get kicked off the podcast with talk like that.
Settle down, son. Settle down. I think I have very well and truly shown my allegiance to the Jackies and our captain, Mr. Roth. All right. Well, that's it for another episode, JD. Thank you very much for joining me, as always.
No worries, mate. Looking forward to the upcoming games. This has been fun. Hopefully they're not as close as the last one.
No, we certainly don't want to have too many of those. The old heart, she can't handle that, and the excitement that kicks in is like, holy Jesus! I can't handle these roller coasters of emotions. All right, Ant Army, make sure you do tune in. Make sure you're following us, liking us, subscribing, telling your friends, telling your family, write love letters to one another saying how wonderful the Ants Nest is. And, of course, as we say each and every week, march on.